1, 2.
Good Shabbos, everyone. We begin our service on page 128 of Mishkan Tefillah with Hinei Ma Tov, how wonderful it is for us all to be together. Hinei Ma Tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is be together on this day. Hinei ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
We turn to page 127 at the top, 127, and we read together. There are days we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire but to share. There are days we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days we act we care nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty, a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat. Day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We bring up our incredible educator, Linda Gutchin, as she leads us in lighting the Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav etzivanu, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav metzivanu lehatlik ner shel Shabbat.
For those who are able, we rise together for our Kiddush, top of page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav meratzavanu B'Shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'asei v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh seichel yitziat Mitzrayim kivanu bacharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim b'Shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'b'ratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen and l'chaim. There's actually something in here.
You got a big weekend. Be slow. The bottom page 127 we read together. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessings, O God. We turn to the bottom of page 135 with Roman Mu.
Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu behar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu behar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu behar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu behar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu behar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu behar kodsho. Dodi לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחם דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בניבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, שם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לחם דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחם דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשם בתחילה. לחם דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחם דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לחם דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחם דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We rise together to greet Shabbat HaMelkah.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם משמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לחם דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לחם דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We continue together at the bottom of page 145. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruits so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. We continue with our Chetzi Kaddish 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא תברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם, וינשא ויתהנתר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתם, תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמם, ואמרו amen.
We rise together, 146.
yada die die die, 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 yada die die die. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Yada die die die, 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 yada die die die.
We continue together, the top of page 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. On the next page.
Amen. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח מחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נחגה יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, לחיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We continue together at the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe that we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land. The winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. There's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Our song of freedom and redemption, our Michamocha 158.
כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה בלב, נורא תהילות אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד.
The top of page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we might die down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Our Hashkivenu 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. redeemed us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim.
163. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
The middle of page 165. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. For those who are able, we rise together for our tefillah 166.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasanim Tovim ve'Konei HaKol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue together at the top of page 179. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. Make a tepid reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bond of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul. May the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praise you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Betov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. We take a few moments for silent meditation. Yihul ratzon imre fi, Yihul ratzon imre fi, Behagion libi lefanecha, Adonai tzuri vekoali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, ve'imeru,
At this moment in our service, we think of those in our community, those who are in need of healing of body or spirit. On this Shabbat, we especially think of Linda Applebaum, Margaret Bell, Harold Seitlin, Deborah Chargois, Greg Cohen, Karen Edwards, Bruce Fleissig, Belinda Gammon, Edward Goldberg, Jeffrey Goldman, Sandra Goldman, Miriam Goldstein, Josie Hatfield, Abraham Hausman Weiss, Sissy Held and Evelyn Held, Donald Himmel, Rolf Holtzman, Joan Jacobson, Corey Kessler, Bart Kolber, Jerry Lapidus, Wayne Lewis, Ashley Meyerson, Marlene Meyerson, Zane Monlick, Jeffrey Muss, Susan Schumann, Leslie Simon, Chrissy St. Charles, Brenda Weinstein, and Carol Wright. And for those with us this evening, if you are thinking of a loved one, a friend who is in need of body, of healing, or spirit, we invite you to share that name as my eyes meet yours. For those names mentioned out loud and for those names that are still in our hearts, we turn to the middle of page 371, our Mishaberach.
Mishaberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha la'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Good Shabbos.
I know you're looking at me. This is a day that I truly never wanted to have, to honor our incredible educator, Linda Gutchen. And I will speak in a bit, but I had no idea how to introduce this because it's truly sad for me that we have to have the Shabbat because you are retiring, but we have to get through it. So our first speaker, someone who means so much to you, our immediate past president, our leadoff, Dr. Al Cohn. And you made it just in time. The calm is yours. Thanks.
Good Shabbos. I am sorry I look like such a schlump, but I came straight from work. I was not going to miss an opportunity to have Shabbat with Linda and all of us. There are things and dates in your life that you just cannot forget. January 28th, 1986 was the Space Shuttle Challenger explosion. December 28th, 97, I got married. April 9th, 2018 was the first day I spoke with Linda Gutchin. I was working closely with Adam Gordon and Shana Watson, who were chairing our educator search committee as our temple worked through the transition and recent departure of our beloved educator, Rabbi Lila Haas. We had a long-standing, well-attended Hebrew and Sunday school program that was in need of supervision, and a pre-K program that needed direction and nurturing. And as a foreshadow to the amazing unicorn that she is, the board became aware of the existence of this one rare single individual who happened to work as the only interim reform educational director in the galaxy, and who incidentally happened to have a lifetime of qualifications that made her the absolute perfect fit for our needs at the time. Maybe she was finishing up a job in New Jersey and might be able to help us out, and I proceeded to call Linda and talked with her for about an hour while pacing around in my backyard. And I knew from the first conversation that I would happily and willingly spend the next several years doing anything and everything that she told me to do, because it was very apparent she had seen it all and gave great guidance. Since the day Linda arrived to Birmingham with Bernie, she's remained one of my most trusted mentors and advisors in Temple life. And I consider myself so very fortunate to have been the direct beneficiary of her wisdom and guidance regarding so many critical Temple decisions. One of the highlights of serving on the executive board at Temple is the opportunity to develop meaningful relationships with the Temple staff. Before Linda, I had never had the opportunity to work alongside a professional Jewish educator, let alone an educator of her caliber. Linda and Bernie joined our Temple family like they had grown up with us for decades. Linda provided critical guidance regarding our decision to discontinue the pre-K educational program and was instrumental in its thoughtful closure. She has brought a standard of excellence to our Hebrew and Sunday school curriculum and is beloved by parents, students, and teachers. Her legacy is a thoughtful, wonderful educational program for our Jewish children that will seamlessly transition to her successor. Linda Gutchin, you are an exemplary interim educational director. You are an outstanding team player, and you are a blessing to this congregation and all the families at Temple Emanu-El. We thank you for the love you've shown to all of our children. You have left this place better than you have found it. You and Bernie have each had such a unique and memorable impact on our entire congregation, and know that you will always have a special place in all of our hearts. I know that I speak for the entire congregation when I wish both you and Bernie every joy and success as you move to your next chapter, to be close with your sweet family and pursue your next adventure. Yasher koach on a job well done. Good Shabbos.
We'd like to welcome next Shana Watson, who chaired the search committee 4 years ago, who has currently served as our search committee chair with Sharon Goldstein, who found our new educator, but more on that later. Shana.
Good Shabbos. Oh, Linda. It takes something pretty great to get me up here. You, dear Linda, are pretty great. This is our thank you and our goodbye. Our fond farewell and very best wishes to you and Cantor G on your next adventure. Linda, you and I have discussed two things that we as Jews know to focus on, aside from, but also because of, everything else. We focus on honoring the past and making the future better. If we do those two things inside this building And out there in our daily lives, we cannot go wrong. Linda, you have not gone wrong. You honor our collective past by teaching us and our children and teaching us through our children. You honor our religion by bringing Judaism and Israel to life in Birmingham, Alabama. We honor the past when we learn from it, and you have done that for us. Your life's work also honors your personal past. It honors Kenter G. It honors Shira and Alana and their families. It honors your brother, who has chosen a path similar to yours. It honors your parents, and it honors your grandparents. It honors your grandfather, who started a camp for Jewish kids way back when because he thought there was a need. Maybe that's where it all started. Maybe it started way before him, but you honor him, and you honor your whole family with the work you have done educating children here and all over this country. You breathed life into our religious school. You have led us to create a space of learning and love of learning. And that honors this place, its history, and our history as Jews. Religious education and a thriving religious school ensures a better future for our children, the congregation of Temple Emanu-El, and Jews as a whole. You have given countless children an exceptional foundation of religious learning that they carry through into adulthood. That's how you've honored the future and surely made it a better one for all of us. Our children, their families, our congregation have a stronger foundation. This place is better. We are better because you were here. Thank you for loving our children and always putting them first.
Linda, this is a note from Gail and Jeffrey Bayer, two people who think so much of you. From the moment you hit the door, Linda, you took your mission by the throat and never slowed down. You kept your head down, made difficult decisions, took criticism on issues that were not of your making, understood bad news does not get better with time, and showed us the way. Gail and I appreciated your no-nonsense approach from day one. Let's all remember you were here to be just for 1 year, which stretched to 2, and now, thank goodness, we have you and Bernie for 4. How fortunate are we as a congregation that you went far beyond your position as interim education director, as you provided experience, compassion, and direction, as our congregation faced challenges well beyond your job description. But with your understanding of congregational life, you were there to help guide us through very turbulent waters. I know from our many hours of conversation, helping us navigate another unexpected challenge. Where would the Temple Emanu-El family be without the Gutchin family? You and Bernie were there to share your wisdom with our clergy, senior staff, and temple leaders. And now here we are, with the greatest testament of your success, a highly experienced senior educator, Elizabeth Block, who had many other choices, appreciating all that you have accomplished here. We are referring to the stability and vision for our religious school, eager to take this professionalism. And we are thrilled that Elizabeth is following in the footsteps of Linda Gutchin. What an opportunity. Linda, you and Bernie have made us all better by knowing you. We are forever indebted to your passion, to your knowledge, compassion, your commitment to excellence, and unquestioned love for Temple Emanu-El. I know none of this has been easy, but you leave our family and our congregation deeply grateful. You will always be in our hearts and prayers, Linda and Bernie, as you move on to the next chapter of your lives. We love you both. Gail and Jeffrey Baer. Now it's my turn. Just in case. They teach us something in rabbinical school that we're not supposed to read against the text. But tonight, maybe this special opportunity, I'm going to defy my professors and I'm going to read against the text. The Talmud teaches us the place doesn't honor the individual honors the place. Tonight, speaking about your 4 years of dedication to Temple Emanu-El, this historic institution, this place honors you. And just some brief history. At the end of my first year at Vanderbilt, a grad student, 2006, it was at this moment that I did not want to continue a career pursuing my doctorate. I knew something felt off. I decided to apply for a special internship at the Temple in that spring of 2006. And this is where I met Linda. And Linda, Bernie, and my mother have something in common. Caleb, put it on the screen because if the congregation saw this in person, they might faint. You can watch it in cyberspace, but all of them witnessed the length of my hair to my shoulders. Both of my ears were pierced. But here's the thing, Linda. You didn't judge a book by its cover, but you should have. You'll see this picture. Like many rabbis do, when they get an intern, they pass them off to the educator. And my work officially began in the fall teaching 6th grade Hebrew. You met with me weekly. You taught me about lesson plans, Jewish education, empowered me to kick out students who misbehaved. But you made me feel at home. It was you and it was Bernie. It was you who taught me the beauty of congregational Judaism and its impact. You were instrumental in my decision to apply directly to rabbinical school. I put aside my aspirations to pursue my doctorate and serve the Jewish people straight on. And I want this congregation to know you were the first person whom I asked to write a letter of recommendation for me to get into rabbinical school. We think of the idea of besheret, things that are meant to be. You hired an intern named Rabbi David Frank at Temple Solel in the late 1970s, Temple Solel in Los Angeles. Rabbi David Frank hired me to work at Temple Solel in San Diego. It's funny how things work, but I was a better intern, right? Okay. He'd admit that, right? Okay. But then the summer of 2018 happened. Rachel and I knew that our life in San Diego needed to come to an end. We didn't find the family that we wanted, the congregational compassion, something to be part of. We looked at just a few congregations, mostly outside New York. But then I looked at Birmingham, Alabama, Temple Emanu-El's application, and I saw your name there, Interim Director of Education. And maybe God, after all, was trying to tell me something. I remembered when I called you about this congregation, you said, consider it. It has tremendous resources, its opportunities. But for me, it was the thrill of being able to work with you again. And after I was offered to serve as your rabbi, as Al is over there, I was very clear with leadership. I wanted you to stay on for another year. Well, a few more years after that. I guess we can say it's bittersweet. This is the end of your historic tenure as being one of the top educators in the country. Even though you and Cantor G will be just 3 hours north, I know, my dear friend, it won't be the same with you in this building. It's going to be a void that won't be filled. In any good lesson plan that you taught me, we write the lesson plan by working backwards. We call this backwards design. So we kind of say, upon completion of any lesson, we want the students to be able to demonstrate what? And I want this congregation to know this is what Linda Gutchin accomplished in her 4 years. To restore a congregation to educational excellence, implement new models of curricula, professional development with teachers, revamping our Hebrew program, advancing our B'nai Mitzvah program. Our successful endeavor to create a community high school. Working with Robin Berger, our Tot Shabbat, our junior choir, and our family service. You created happy students, inspired teachers, and above all, many, many happy parents, which isn't as easy in our business. But finally, this is what you stood for. You created an ethos of high standards. And I want this congregation to know, abiding high morals and ethics, that is what defines a congregation. In 4 years, you made this synagogue an educational powerhouse. You pivoted during COVID. You strived to make sure the kids returned to this building to learn. You easily recognize the absolute harm of remote learning, especially for Hebrew. You pivoted, you never gave up for our students. You worked always on your day off, which bothered me. You always worked on your vacation, which bothered me. As Bernie said, you are the ideal Jewish professional. He said it best. She won't shut it down, ever. She wants to make sure that things are done properly and done well. And these 4 years here, these 3 years here for me, you have helped me grow to be a better rabbi. You have given me the feedback. You have taught me to see different perspectives. You didn't hold back. I know my wife thinks that I like to act that I am president, but you are my chief of staff. Judaism, even in its infancy stages, our great rabbis wanted us to be mindful about our history, our trials, our tribulations. Therefore, our rabbis believe that the heart of Jewish life, our praxis, should focus on historical empathy, remembering, processing, learning from our growth and mistakes. In my professional career, I've been blessed to have many great mentors. I mentioned Rabbi David Frank, Rabbi Steve Kay, and Rabbi Steve Einstein. And then it was your incredible husband, Cantor G, who first lifted me up, filling in a major hole that seemed impossible. And then it was you. If Judaism requires us that this notion about the appreciation from history, it's more than appreciation for Linda Gutchin. During that summer of 2019, that fall, this congregation had to adjust to certain difficulties and realities. New faces, new voices, new programs. But it was your leadership. It was your friendship during the 2019 is something that I will never forget. If only this congregation knew your tenacity, your commitment to this school, its parents, to its history. But when things were really hard, and I was stuck in some deep hole, You came down with me. You picked up every single time I called. As the Baal Shem Tov taught us, to pull a friend out of the hole, don't hesitate to get dirty. Bernie did it, and you did it. It's the Gutchen way, something that all of us should model. During this past summer, you came to me reflecting about your life, your grandchildren, your desire to ride off into the sunset. We had some difficult conversations. I didn't want to hear you at first. I didn't know how I could serve as rabbi without you here. I was convinced deep down that you wanted to work for another year, and even another. But after the high holidays, we had that heart-to-heart that we needed to have. And I finally heard you. I finally heard Bernie and the girls. It's their time to get you. I know you're never going to abandon us. You had us consulted with our search. You found us, Elizabeth Block, and you're leaving us in excellent hands, something that you promised me. I know you're retiring, but I know you're not going to give up. We have this special friendship that will endure on. And therefore tonight, this congregation honors one of Reform Judaism's greatest educators. And it's my great honor to bless my dear friend and my dear mentor. I ask the congregation to rise as we sing Debbie Friedman's rendition of Kaddish de Rabbanan, a celebration of a special Kaddish for learning. Come to the Bima.
For our teachers and their students and the students of the students, we ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. And for those who study Torah here and everywhere, may they be blessed with all they need, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen.
My student is now my rabbi. Life is so interesting and has so many twists and turns. Thank you, Adam, for everything. You know how I adore you, and I'm so grateful we've been able to work together. Thank you for your kind and thoughtful words. Thank you, Al, for your precious words, and Shana, for yours. You know, when a congregation hires an interim educator, it becomes a partnership between the interim and the educational leadership. We work hard together to establish a structure, standards, and a quality of education that meets the needs of the congregation. Then, when the congregation hires a permanent educator, there is a system in place that allows a new journey to begin. Most interims stay 1 or maybe 2 years. This situation turned out differently. However, our partnership and this team effort has endured, and we have been able to move the educational system here forward in remarkable ways. I hope you all feel proud of our accomplishments and our achievements. Many of you may be familiar with Fiddler on the Roof. The family lived in a shtetl, a little village, and took care of each other. That is how I feel about our school. Our little village is quite amazing. We have amazing families, amazing children, and an amazing faculty who work hard to ensure the education of our next generation of Jews. Our village is also blessed to be funded generously through the Gail and Jeffrey Bear Religious School Fund of the Grafman Endowment Fund, along with other supporting funds of Grafman, which enables us to enhance our program in so many wonderful ways. The Temple officers and board are a big part of our village. Thank you for your commitment, for the time you give this congregation, and for allowing me to serve it. Those who work here on a daily basis are a major part of our village. You all do your jobs so well, and it's wonderful being able to work for and with you. Another part of our village is our education committee. Much of the committee has been part of our village for many, many years. They are parents of our students, teachers of our students, as well as interested educators. You are all an amazing group. Your support and guidance have been invaluable to me. So this is our village, our shtetl. We have much of which to be proud. I am grateful and thankful to have been here to contribute in some small way. So, I want to thank you, Bernie. Thank you for taking this journey with me, for support and your love. Keep me going, and I am so grateful to have you by my side. Thank you all.
We stay standing for Aleinu 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, מקור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ היום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are marked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to all of us and to all of humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love, the meaning of loss, the meaning of life and death. On this Shabbat, we recall the yortzites of Floyd Burt Athey, Frederick Berman, Herbert R. Bernstein, Lena Bittner, Sam Blitz, Albert Brenner, Lillian Cohen, Victor Cohen, Minnie B. Cooper, Isidore M. Davis, John Allen Dees, Marilyn Dorsky, Nathan Epsman, Lee Forst, Simon Friedman, Ed Malcolm Friend, Sarah Meyerson Goldman, Victor M. Hannon, Fanny Hanover, Margie Smith Harrington, James L. Hirsch, Morris Jaffe, Itzvan Keretz, Dorothy Cohn, Marcia Kramer, Henrietta Kraselsky, Abe S. Krawcheck, Rose Litvin, David Loveland, Samuel William Lyon, Herman Needle, Dina C. Osmond, Paul M. Overall, Judith Grusin Kahn Ratner, Joan Rittenbaum, David Rose, Paul Rosenthal, Dora Landau Roth, Louise Ruth Shaw, Gabriel Sedlis, Moisley Sugarman, Milton Turner, Estelle Weinberger, William J. Wilson, Ida Tannenbaum Zavalo, and Goldie Rosen Zinder, and our heartfelt condolences in the recent passing of Terry Aronoff, mother of Hillary Gawant, Jackie Blue, aunt of Judith and Scott Denson, Gerald Lewis, uncle of John Lewis, and Louis Buddy Schulhafer, husband of Lucy and father of Lindy Edwards. We rise together as a united congregation for a Mortis Kaddish 598. Yikadal v'ikadash shemei rabbah, bi'omad divrach erotei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'kayet kol beit Yisrael, b'agalah u'izman kari v'yimru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach li'olam alamei amaya, yiparach yishtoach yitba'ar yitromam yitnaseh, v'itadar v'italev v'italal shemei dekucha.
Brichu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbichata v'nechamata, damin ram yilma v'yimru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'yimru. Amen. O say shalom imromav, huya say shalom, aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'yimru. Amen.
Amen. O se shalom bimromav, huya se shalom, aleinu vel kol Yisrael, me'imeru. Amen.
Just a reminder, before we conclude with Odon Olam 625, we have an incredible oneg thanks to the Goldstein. 625.
Adon olam asher malach, בטרם כל יציר נברא, ואין נשא וחפצו גול, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל, לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, ויהיה ותברא. והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשילו להחמירה, בלי ראשית בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצור חברי בעת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא. יא דה 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 יא דה יא דה 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 יא דה 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 יא דה יא דה 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 יא דה יא דה 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 יא דה 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 בידו הפקיד רוחי, בית אישן בעיירה, ועם רוחי גמיעתי, אדוני לי ולא אירא. יא דה 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 יא דה יא דה 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 יא דה 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 יא דה יא דה 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 יא דה יא דה 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 יא דה 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 דה.
Good Shabbos, and please join us for our oneg downstairs.